Mm-hmm.
If I was 20 years younger, it'd probably be amazing.
True.
But I'm not. I'm the age that I am now, so it's. Hey. So.
Yeah. So welcome, guys,
to the J&O show.
Where we talk about things
that you were never told. All right. Somebody's calling. Nope. We taping. Yep. Hit them back. Back.
So, what are we talking about today?
I don't know. Check this. I don't know.
We're talking about. Bless you.
Excuse me.
We're talking about getting married for the wrong reasons.
Oh Lord. Father help us.
Yes.
Father help us.
So, I don't know if it's been you guys' experience, but in our experience, we seem to come across a lot of relationships that should just be for a season that end up being for much longer.
Yeah.
People tend to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And things could have worked out, possibly. But things happen out of order. And what do I mean by that? What are you trying to say? Oh, okay. So let me tell you. So I think we touched this briefly on our very first episode, but I just like to go in more detail because it's so important that we understand some of the things that our parents told us or our guardians told us or people told us, but we didn't really pay attention to. Even like the songs, that they have, like, I forget how it goes.
What's love got to do? Got to do. That one?
Okay.
J&O, sitting in the tree, KISSING. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes O with the baby carriage. So, like, the order, you know what I'm saying? The order in which things should happen. There's a reason for that order.
There's a reason for the order. There is a reason for the order.
Yes, a reason for the order. So some people tend to get married too quickly because children, someone gets pregnant and they feel as though they should go ahead and get married because the person is pregnant. That is not a good reason to get married.
Oh my God!
I understand, especially because I've always been very quote unquote old fashioned or old school with my thought processes and things.
Nah,
of that
y'all don't
nature.
understand.
Really? Hold on.
My wife?
For real?
My wife.
For real?
My wife. My wife is at
For real?
least
For real?
73 years old in her head. Okay? She's
Whatever.
from a whole nother gemination.
Anyway, gemination.
Gemination.
For real?
And she
Gemination.
definitely, she used to listen to Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix.
For real?
Yes, the OJs.
Anyway.
Gladys Knight and the Pippins.
Anyway.
She was with all of thems. And that was her generation way back then. So yes, old fashioned.
Anywho, like I said, a lot of people, they get married when kids come into the picture. And I understand, growing up, some people, the philosophy is, you get married, you have kids, you need to be married. And that's not true. And I was going to say, I don't know where it came from, but I know where it came from. It came from a very traditional mentality of, you don't want to have kids out of wedlock. You don't want to be shacking up and everything like that. And all of that, don't get me wrong. I agree with that. I agree with the sense that you don't necessarily want to be shacking up with somebody. And I agree that you should wait to have kids. But what I don't agree with is the reasoning for you getting married because you have kids. When you rush into doing everything, after you have kids and then you rush and you go ahead and get married, especially if you hadn't really been with the person for a long time, it causes a lot of drama. And it's not fair to either one of the people, and it's definitely not fair to the kids, because one, you haven't had time in your relationship to really identify who you are, your roles, what it's like to be with that person through all 4 seasons, okay? Not just the summertime. You don't know what they like in the winter when they cold. You don't, no, I'm serious. Like, you don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? They could have lost somebody, that was very important to them. They might have like PTSD. And I'm dead serious. Like, if you haven't been with somebody for all 4 seasons, okay, you might want to think twice about that, putting a ring on it, or saying yes. But anyway, getting back to the point. Yeah, you don't want to rush and go ahead and get married, and have that huge commitment with the person just because you have children. Because children, they change everything, no matter what anybody says. Don't get me wrong, kids are a blessing, and
Sometimes.
Kids are a blessing, but they're a lot. They're a lot to have to deal with. He said it before. It is the hardest job you will ever do if you're actually trying to raise a decent human being. Being a parent is not easy. Thank God for my parents. Thank God for your parents. It's not an easy thing to do. Now that we are parents, we see how difficult it is to be able to raise decent human beings. And when you compound that with a relationship that's new, where you don't really know each other, or you haven't had the time to get to know each other and really build a strong foundation, you put unnecessary stress on your relationship. It's almost like thinking about when you are, I don't know, you're building something. Like if you're putting a chair together, if you don't take the time to make sure you tighten all those bolts before you have somebody go sit in a chair, it's going to fall flat. And that's essentially what ends up happening with marriages. It's like if you don't take the time to build that foundation, to screw in those bolts and make sure that they're tight, make sure that you and your spouse are tight, you want to make sure that you have your relationship together and that you both want kids. That's another thing, which hopefully you've decided that way before. But you want to make sure that you've done all that before you rush into getting married. And I'll stop there because I know you got something you want to say.
No, I was just gonna let you rock, man. Go ahead. I was gonna let you rock, man.
Yeah, but no, it's unfortunate because I've seen it time and time again, where people they're together and they have kids and they rush and they get married, and then either when the kids are young or when the kids move out the house, they get a divorce. And they wonder why. And it's because they never really spent the time to develop their relationship as husband and wife. And if you haven't taken that time to be able to establish that relationship, when the kids come, it's all about them. And since you never identified what you look like as a couple, as a married couple, once that entity leaves, like once the kids leave the house and you no longer have that responsibility to raise the kids, it's like, okay, well, now what do we do? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, who are you? Because you didn't spend that time getting to understand who your spouse was. So that's why it's very important.
And I guess I'll just piggyback off of what she just said. In addition to that part of it, with not, getting to know each other, also there are a lot of situations where parents get lost in their kids. You lose yourself. That's bad. That's a bad thing. I'm gonna just tell you flat out. You as a parent have to be healthy in mind, body, and spirit in order to raise a healthy individual. Certain things you can't help. If you get sick or something like that, you can't help it. There's nothing you can do about it. Things in life happen that are gonna knock you down. And some of it's gonna affect you mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Things happening is not what we're talking about. We're talking about pre-existing conditions that you're walking into things with
you're
already.
Knowingly.
You know that you already got this and that and the third done. You got to really, really watch that stuff, man. Getting lost in your kids is bad. Your children are not your God. I'm going to just say that flat out. Your children are not your God. You have a life that exists outside of them, and you need to be able to live that life outside of your children so that you can be all you can be for your kids. A lot of the things that are happening with a lot of our children in these situations where these kids are acting out and things of that nature, is a lot of it is because they're being abused or neglected at home. For the various things that are happening in their parents' lives, because their parents are unhappy, because their parents are living outside of purpose, because their parents don't like their lives, and they come back and they take it out on their children. That is a real thing. And forget what you deserve, because you do deserve the best. Your kids deserve the best too. And that's another thing you have to be concerned with. Now, we live in a world where everybody's not going to abstain from sex. Most people are not going to abstain from sex. Even if you were raised that way, it's a good chance you're not, because of the power of emotions and the spiritual connection you can have with the person can just make that one of those things that just ain't in the cards for you. There are a lot of people who are not going to say, I'm not moving in with nobody until we get married. A lot of people's going to be moving in. A lot of people ain't going to wait 2 months before they move in with somebody. There are some people who, I've seen situations where people move into the house within months because the other person got kicked out of their house. And I'm not going to let you be on the street. You ain't got nowhere to go? All right, well, you're going to come stay with me then. And which is I'm going to be honest with you, that's a great thing. That's, I can't even speak on that. So knowing all of those things, that people are going to do certain things out of order, I implore you, that does not mean that you should be trying to go get married because you and somebody else get pregnant and you're about to have a kid. Don't get married because of that. I'm gonna just say that flat out. It's not a good reason. Getting married because you're being pressured by your family to do so, also a bad reason. Because at the end of the day, your family members are not going to be there with you in that house laying in the bed with that person. Your family members are not going to be there with your kid, usually. Isn't that all the time? Because sometimes you got them grandmas be like, just leave the baby over here and get on out of here. You ain't no good. There are those parents that will literally just snatch your kids up from you because you messing up. Barring those people, but I would venture to say that there are a lot of people whose families are not going to be there when your kid is in the middle of the night and they're sick. They're not going to be there, especially in the beginning stages when your kid is a baby and there's crying all night and you got to deal with that, and then you're with somebody that you don't really even know, or you only married because you got pregnant and y'all fighting because you got to get up and go feed the baby this time. And let me tell you that situation will tear your relationship apart. Kids put a strain on marriage. Period. Right. They just do. It's because it's so hard. Right. And if you and this person we're not able to build this strong bond, it is not going to be able to withstand that child coming in there and tearing it apart. And not to mention, most people are not even honest with themselves about whether or not they want kids. Because kids are a blessing. Because kids are a blessing, and they're innocent, and they're amazing, and they're cute. And all of these things, and kids are empty slates. You literally have to teach them everything. I wish I could explain to you what you have to teach them everything really means. Like they have no concept of anything. There's no concept of respect. There's no concept of anything that you would expect people around you to operate under. Kids don't know it. Right. You can't expect them to know anything that you have not taught them. Right. So, and that'll wreak havoc on you as well, because it's very challenging dealing with someone who doesn't have anything to pull from to say, you know what, this was disrespectful. I shouldn't do that because I'm going to hurt myself. They don't even know they're going to hurt. They don't know throwing themselves down 3 flights of stairs at the age of 2 because it's going to hurt a lot. They don't know. See, we always talk about the burning your hand on the fire thing because everybody talks about that. It's like everything. You know what? I should not throw myself out of this moving car because it might not work out well for me. All of that, they don't have any of that. because they're blank slates. You have to fill in all of those gaps, and you have to literally teach this child everything that you know, and I do mean everything. My son, he still freaks out when I'm taking his clothes off to give him a shower at night, and he's looking up at me, and the thing gets stuck on his head because his head all big, right? And he trying to pull the thing up, and he's panicking. He's panicking because it won't just come off. He's he's doing all of this, and I go, Kai, look up, look at me. And he'll look at me through the big hole at the bottom of his clothes, and he'll stop freaking out, and he'll just look at me and go, and just stare at me. I'm like, you're okay. You can breathe. You're not gonna suffocate. I'm not gonna let nothing happen to you, man. It's okay. I got you. All right. Take a few breaths. All right. Let's try to get it off your head. But he doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just freaking out because his eyes are covered. He can't hear anything. Maybe it's harder for him to breathe because instead of looking and doing something simple like looking up so he can breathe because there's a giant hole there, he's gonna go and put his head here in the fabric so he can't breathe. Like something that simple. Like I'm telling you, everything, and they have no filter.
Oh.
There's no filter. They don't care what's going on, what
They
you're
sure
doing.
don't.
They don't know what I'm busy right now means. None of that. So like there is really no break from them unless you have a good support system.
Right.
And by and large, most people are going through so much in their own lives that they can't really support you to take a lot of that burden off of you. It's not even that they don't want to. You might have the parents that really, really want to do this, but dad worked
They
2
just
jobs,
can't.
mom worked a job and a half, and she volunteering at the church doing 13 different things, and like all of these different things that make their lives so full that they can't come and take the kids off of your hands for a week so that you can have a breath and be husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever your situation is. I'm telling you, like, getting married under those circumstances just because you have kids, I think I went off on a massive tangent, but
You did.
like yeah,
okay.
anyway, but yo, all of those things, man, all of those things add up. And like, so just jumping into a relationship, especially if it's a relationship and then it doesn't work out, you sat here and conditioned your child to you being with this person, and now you have to have them go through all of the separation anxiety and all of the psychological things that'll happen when you break up with their mommy or their daddy. Those, like, if you just sat there and co-parented because you got pregnant and decided if you actually wanted to be together, they can get used to that situation because they never knew anything else.
Right.
As opposed to establishing a family unit and then destroying it right in front of their very eyes, bro.
Right.
Like, it's better for you to have never even built it. So having kids, bad idea, just to get married because of it.
Yeah.
Or basically anything outside of what we in love and we fit and we make each other better.
Yeah.
Pretty much a bad call on getting married for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Also, just to throw this one out there, it is so expensive to get divorced, right? That is,
Say it's cheaper to keep her.
bruh, it is not worth. It's not worth you going through that unless y'all show y'all gonna make a run at it. And it's because you love each other and you feel like y'all can help each other through life in general. Make it easier. If the mate don't cause nothing but issues, just why?
Just let it go.
If you had less drama single, just stay single, man.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Just walk away.
I mean, yeesh.
I did want to mention something that you touched on.
Yeah.
As far as you having to take care of yourself, making sure that you take care of you so you can take care of your kids.
Never does it.
I'm working on it.
She doesn't
I
listen.
know myself. It's something that I'm working on and I'm learning. But one of the things I just wanted to say to the moms out there, the women, I know for me that it's hard to put myself first, just being fully transparent because I feel guilty. And I know that a lot of moms feel that way. They've been raised to think that you have to pour everything into everyone else before yourself. But one of the things I'm learning is even on the airplane, they tell you put the mask on yourself first and then put it on your neighbor. It's for a reason.
Yeah.
The reason why they tell you that is because if you don't have oxygen, okay, and they don't have oxygen and you try to put it on them first, you might pass out before you get it on them, and then they can't put it on themselves and they can't help you. So that's one of the things that I'm working on. It's not easy. Like I said, I'm being fully transparent, but I wanted to speak on that because a lot of women, a lot of moms, I think they feel guilty for wanting to take time out for themselves throughout the course of a day, because there's so many things that have to get done. You know, working moms, you have to work, you have kids, you have a husband, you have a household to take care of. You got to cook, you got to clean, you got to feed, you got to bathe. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things. You have to make sure you work on your relationship with your husband. There's just a lot that goes on in the course of a day, and you feel as though there's no time for you. Or basically the only time that you do have basically is like at the end of the day when you've done everything and you're about to pass out. Like, that's not really giving yourself any time. So one of the things that I'm practicing doing, and I'm making small steps, is that, especially now since we're all working from home, or well, not all, but a lot of people are working from home, or you're just stuck at home. When you're done basically doing, whether it's your work for the day or this, that, and the third, I'm working on just taking 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes. After I'm done working, I'm working on taking that for myself as me time, just to decompress from work. If it's to take a quick cat nap, power nap, whatever it is or what have you, before I go start dinner or before I go interact with the kids, whatever the case may be. I'm working on giving myself just a few minutes just to do that, to decompress. You can switch it up. Maybe you want to give yourself an hour to go take a long shower. Maybe pamper yourself, maybe paint your toenails, or whatever the case may be. But just, it's okay for you to be able to take some time. The main thing is being able to decompress and refocus and center yourself. So whatever that looks like for you, whether that be you taking that 30 minutes, whether it be you taking an hour, whether it's before you start the day, or, you know, in the middle of the day or towards the end of the day, wherever it is throughout the course of the day, you need to make sure that you take time for you. Just like you make time for your husband, for your kids, you need to make sure you take time for yourself. And I'm saying that to you, but I'm saying it to me too. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah,
Don't feel guilty.
That was good.
Don't feel guilty.
I got nothing to say to that. That is what it is. Mom to moms. But yeah, so we just went on a massive tangent.
That's all right.
Because we definitely were talking about, getting married for the wrong reasons, and she turned it into a lesson to moms. But but that ain't no worse than what I just did a few minutes ago, right? So it's like all the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a lot of that while we talking.
Nuggets. See, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah,
so
you never know.
You see the title, you click on it.
Yes.
For one thing, but then you get something totally different.
Completely what might happen.
Yeah.
That's a good chance with us.
That's just how we do.
We're gonna try to
stay on.
Yeah, but you know what we might do? We might try to title it after what we talk about in the video, and not necessarily what we plan to talk about in the video, but what we actually talking about in the video. That's what we're probably going to. But anyway, that was it. At the end of the day, don't just up and get married for all the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. Don't just go and move in with somebody for all the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. It's gonna be too much drama. Yeah. Just don't even
take your time.
Don't even.
When the quote unquote old folks used to say, "Oh, take your time," mm-hmm. It's a reason why they said that. Yeah. But they never tell us. Yeah. These are the reasons why you need to take your time. Yeah. You want to take your time to save yourself heartache and pain in the end. Yeah. Because that's all it's going to end up being if you don't make sure you take the proper steps to make sure you have a good foundation, make sure you know the person, and make sure that you actually both want the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's it for this video. I think. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Go down there, click there's a button, right? Say SUBSCRIBE. Click that one. Subscribe. Press that button, and then it's a little bell that when you smack it, it goes ding. So go ahead and ding that bell. Join the family. We could talk about some things. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can like send us like, yo, I really want y'all to talk about this. Yeah. And we'll at least start talking about it. And who knows where the conversation is going to end up. But we'll start there. Yes. And we'll try to make sure we answer your question. Yes. Yes, please comment. Let us know what you guys think. Yeah. Definitely let us know what you want to talk about. Just, try to keep it positive. respectful.
I'm gonna be blocking folk.
all
I'm
the-
gonna be
yeah,
honest with you.
yeah.
Y'all come in there with all that haterade,
Yeah, we don't do that.
I'm gonna just be blocking.
Yeah.
That does
Yeah.
not mean disagreement. It's
Oh yeah,
haterade. It's
no,
different.
No, the hateration is different.
Hateration is different. If you disagree, you just communicate your point to me,
Yes.
and we good. You know what I'm saying? You can disagree. Hey, I might even say, hey, this person disagreed with what we were saying. You know, and we could talk about it. Like, it's all good.
Right.
Because we're still learning. We're still a young couple. I would say that. 17 years deep. Almost 15 married,
Yeah.
but 17 years deep. So we're still somewhat of a young, you know, we still haven't hit our halfway point yet.
Right.
We still got a lot way to go. So we have a lot more to learn. So, you know, have a good time. We hope you're enjoying your life. Try to find some way to enjoy the Rona. Just enjoy being at home. You know.
So they can't enjoy the Rona.
Well, not the Rona, but enjoy the circumstances of the Rona. You
Yes.
at home.
Yes.
I expect maybe around, what is this? Because this is 4th month. So I expect in January, February for there to be a lot of babies popping up.
Yes.
January, February, March next year. You know, stuff like that.
Now don't run and get married now.
Don't get married. But I know that a whole bunch of y'all is gonna have some babies. I know that's happening. That's coming. So, but you know, just try to make the best of it, man. You know, live, love, be positive. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, I'm so old school Jersey. It's like terrible.
You didn't add the sun though.
Son,
You gotta say it again all together.
shun.
You
Oh.
gotta say nah I mean son.
Oh, nah, I mean, Sean. Yeah, you're
You
right.
gotta say it all together.
You're right.
If you don't add the
it's a
sun
phrase.
on the end, then it don't count.
It's a phrase.
It don't count.
I agree. No cap. So, anyway, like, comment, subscribe. We'll check you guys next time. Peace.